Hello my friends and welcome to Turn 1 Sol Ring. So, the Commander 2019 decks came in, so let's make like a Magic player and crack into these. We got 400 cards to go through. But first, you must see if we can find a pack in the Mythic Magic Beanie. Hold up, let's reach in here and... Oh, I feel one. Whoa! A pack of Battle for Zendikar. That's pretty cool. This is going to be open for Booster Packs for Hope, which is a segment before every video where I open a pack of Magic cards, look through the cards on camera, and then, as soon as I'm done with that video, I put the cards up on eBay and try to sell as many of them as I can, and all that money goes to a different charity each month. This month's charity is the Humane Society, which has been helping doggos and cattos find really good homes. If you want to support Booster Packs for Hope, you can nominate a charity down below in the comment section, or you can go on over to the Facebook page, Turn 1 Sol Ring, where you can vote for next month's charity. If you want to send in a booster pack, you can do so by sending it to Turn 1 Sol Ring, P.O. Box 291616, Columbia, South Carolina 29229. Alright, let's see if we can pull an Eldrazi Titan from this. Here we go, Battle for Zendikar pack. Alrighty. You got Swarm Surge, nice little pump. Tajuru Stalwart. Incubator Drone. Culling Drone. Ingest was a nice little mechanic. Kozilek Sentinel. That is a lot of teeth. Makindi Patrol. Ooh, these cards feel really good. I like the cardstock these are printed on. These are better than the friggin' Amonkhet. Valakut Predator. Shadow Glider. It's alright. Lifespring Druid. Valakut Invoker, which is trash. Alright, we're now into the uncommons. Grove Rumbler. Ulamog's Despoiler. Molten Nursery, and our rare is Beastcaller Savant. Pay 2 mana for a 1/1, haste, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. Only in green, and we got a full art Plains to finish us off, and a nice little ad card. This is an interesting card. This would be good in a Gruul deck. Gruul creature deck. Alright, so that's 15 cards right there. But I think we're more worried about the 100 cards right here. So let's check them out. So we're going to go through each of the Commander 2019 decks primary commanders, who I have right here. And we're going to start out with Anji Falkenrath. A hasty vampire. Discard a card, draw a card is her tap. And if you discard a card with Madness, untap her. I'm sorry, but you're going to be casting every Madness spell that you have for its Madness cost every single time. Just because, based off of how she operates, she basically allows you to cast it for its Madness cost and then replace that card in your hand. You will never, ever, if you can keep her out, not cast a Madness card for its Madness cost. Then Seven, the Chronoclasm. I rather like him just because it's very hard to remove him via combat. And that second ability, your flashback spells will get copied every turn for the first one that you play. That's pretty amazing considering there's really good flashback stuff out there. Then for Ghired, Conclave Exile, he gives you a 4/4 of trample, always nice. But then that second ability is what's really going to win you games, because there are a lot of kick-ass tokens out there that you can populate with him, and if you get enough of them just punching someone in the face, you're going to punch so hard that your opponent's going to be like, oh, what? You might give them a concussion or two. And then we have Kadena, Slinking Sorcerer. First, you get to get a free morph every turn, but then every time you play a morph, you draw a card. I'm sorry, can you say busted for the fact that you get to draw an additional card for free every turn, and then every morph you play, you get to draw a card? That's pretty dang good. So, if you're running this deck, I'm just going to say right now, run her as your commander. I know there's some really other good cards in here, but she really takes the cake in terms of all of these. I think she's the dark horse candidate for kind of the most potentially powerful deck you could build with her. Alright, so now that we've looked at each of these commanders, let's look at each of their decks. So now that we're familiar with the commanders, let's look at each deck. Starting with the Madness deck, out of the box it's pretty well rounded. There's a lot of good Madness things happening here, and a lot of good Madness support, as well as really fun Rakdos shenanigans. Getting to things I did not like in this deck out of the way first, the Lockets, which I'll get to later in the video, and Direct Damage, which really isn't good removal in Commander unless you can do a lot of it, or target the player. The good of this deck is that, like I previously said, you are very well set up to do fun Madness things. Some of my favorite cards from the test games I played are Key to the City, Zombie Infestation, Bone Miser, and Chainer, Nightmare Adept. To the Morph deck. I'll admit this is the one I had the least expectations for, and it definitely met and exceeded them. This deck has my second favorite secondary commander for this set, with Rayami, First of the Fallen. She's definitely an interesting commander, and I have some ideas on how I'd build her. Back to the deck, this is definitely the most shenanigansy of the class of 2019, mostly due to the mysterious nature of morphs to begin with. This is definitely a great deck to bluff and scheme with. I definitely had a lot of fun fooling people and activating my morphing things. Some favorites for me in this deck were Secret Plans, Thieving Amalgam, Hex, Karu Spellsnatcher, Ixodron, Grim Haruspex, and Vesuvian Shapeshifter. The Flashback deck is the one that least fits my playstyle, but I still had a fun time playing it. Sometimes you have to get outside your comfort zone as a Magic player, and doing so can be rewarding to your own playstyle. This deck has my third favorite secondary commander for this year, Pramicon. Legendary Walls for the win. My favorite support pieces in this deck are Secrets of the Dead, Jace's Sanctum, and Guttersnipe. Now, I know I'm contradicting myself from earlier with Guttersnipe, but Guttersnipe deals the damage straight to the opponents, not to creatures. This deck strikes me a lot like a Kaikar Wins Fury deck. Finally, the Populate deck. This one contained my favorite secondary commander from this year, Atla Palani. Definitely keep an eye out for a So You're Building on her. This deck I felt right at home playing, mainly because I've been playing a Tristani commander deck for years. Some pieces I enjoyed using in this deck were Soul Foundry, Selesnya Eulogist, Song of the World Soul, Full Flowering, and Doomed Artisan. Each really contributed very well to the deck's overall strategy, which, although it's probably the slowest out of the decks this year, that means once you get going making tokens, it's gonna be really difficult to stop you. Alright, so overall looking at these decks, there's definitely a few gripes that I had. The first one being that the signets were not reprinted. And I think that's probably the stupidest thing that I've ever seen, mainly because any commander deck that runs 2 or more colors needs the signets in them, just because they're that good. Now, I do know in a couple of these decks, they have a land that's very similar to the signets, but I would argue that the signets are more needed just because, again, almost every dual or more colored deck runs them. These are cards that are needed every year in these reprints, and the fact that they're not there just shocks me, honestly. The other real gripe I had with these was the price point. Now, I know Wizards is a company and companies need to make money, but going up to $40 a deck is pretty expensive. I mean, even when it was $35 a deck, some people couldn't afford that. If your LGS is selling these for more than $40 a deck, look elsewhere if you want to save money. Remember, you're voting with your dollars to say, hey, this right here is the price level I want. Negativity aside, I think the power level for these decks is definitely up since last year. How much so I can't really tell you, but the Commander 2018 decks, it's been a while since I've played them, unmodified. That being said, the Morph and the Madness decks are definitely going to be great engines for whatever you want to do with them. Drawing you a lot of cards, free Morphs, making sure you play your Madness stuff when you want to play your Madness stuff. The Populate deck, I can definitely see this going really well, especially if you throw in a lot of token makers and a lot of really good token makers too. The Jeskai deck, I'm a little rusty on Flashback, but there's a lot of really good Flashback cards that I definitely know could are definitely going to go in here, and all of these decks are going to become really great engines for those strategies. In summary, I think these decks are a great way to play Commander. If you're a newer player, I'd definitely say get one of these that speaks to you, and play it unmodified for a few games to get the feel of the deck, and then start throwing in some pieces that are your favorites in those colors. That's a real good surefire way to be on the path to building a really good deck. If you're an experienced player, I definitely say pick one of these up. However, remember, you do have that pile of unfinished deck projects that you're currently working on. All in all, I'd say if you have the money, definitely get one of these. They're all pretty dang good. Alright, so that was my review of the Commander 2019 decks. What do you think? Did I miss something about your favorite deck? Or maybe, which one is your favorite deck? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, remember to share this video with all of your friends who play Magic. It really helps the channel grow. Something else that helps the channel grow is subscribing and making sure to hit that notification bell so you know when the next Turn 1 Sol Ring video is uploaded. If you want to help support Booster Packs for Hope, you can do so by nominating a charity down in the comment section below, going on over to the Turn 1 Sol Ring Facebook page, or you can send in a pack to Turn 1 Sol Ring, P.O. Box 291616, Columbia, South Carolina 29229. Remember, have great games, and have a good one.